Hi, I'm Amy Romeo and welcome to my Faux Falloween Crafting Event where I'm sharing a new Cricut project using faux leather every day for 10 days. Today's project is going to be these really cute coffee cup sleeves, and this is a little piece of faux leather that is perfectly cup shaped with some snaps on the back, and it just slides onto your coffee cup to protect your hands from your warm beverage. So these have little snaps on the back. I'll also show you how to make these without snaps so that you can resize these as needed. This one particular size does fit on all of these Starbucks cups, but again, if you have a different size cup, you can make some adjustments as needed. Now I have a couple different designs for you, and I'll show you how to get the SVGs for this project in just a minute, but there are a few different designs, and there's also two different variations on the back. One has a straight edge and one has a little bit of scalloping. So this is a really easy project, just faux leather, heat transfer vinyl, and the snaps. Now the faux leather that you can use, any kind of fall print that you would like. You can use a print, a pattern, a solid, even something textured like this would be really pretty. Now this one I would recommend putting heat transfer vinyl on. It would be really pretty just on its own. So something I did want to mention is this is a wide pattern. So patterns that don't have a direction like this one are great, because you will want to turn your faux leather piece on your cutting mat horizontally because the shape is going to cut like this. Now, if you found a pattern that has a direction, these are all from the Polka Dotted Peach, which is one of my favorite faux leather suppliers. This pattern, for example, you can see the little fall ghost. His head is facing up. If you turn this sideways, then your print would be sideways. But here you can see if you're ordering on the Polka Dotted Peach website, and I'll leave links to all of these patterns for you. You can choose landscape for them to print your print landscape instead of vertical like this, and that way you'll have this cute print facing the right direction for this project. Okay, so besides the faux leather, if you are applying the heat transfer vinyl, you can use any heat transfer vinyl you'd like. I used some Caesar glitter in white for this one and brown. Again, it's totally up to you. I will be using my Easy Press Mini to apply the heat transfer vinyl. You could also use a regular Easy Press. Now the snaps, a lot of people get mystified about this, but it really is very easy to do. These are called cam snaps. These are size 20s, and they come with, I got this box on Amazon. I'll have the link for you. It has all of the cam snap pieces that you need, and it also came with the special cam snap pliers. Now this little installation guide is very helpful, and I'll include this for you, and this shows you the different parts of the snaps. I'll walk you through that part, and really you'll be so surprised at how easy these are to make. Okay, so let me show you how to get the SVGs for this project, and then we will dive right in. To get the SVG for this and all of the daily event projects, visit the event page at amyromeo.com/Falloween24 or click the link in the description. You'll also see the option to upgrade to the event VIP pass and get instant access to all of the daily event projects, bonus files, and more. Starting with a blank canvas in Cricut Design Space, you'll click on Upload and then Upload Image, and you'll browse to where the unzipped SVG files are for this project. Click on it to select it and then click Open. You'll see a preview of the coffee cup sleeves here. Click Continue and then Upload. And let me zoom out just a little bit. Here are the 4 different designs that I mentioned, but you really have a lot of versatility with this project because you can use just the SVG shape on the bottom, and you can cut from any print or pattern you'd like without putting any heat transfer vinyl on top. So let me first just ungroup these so I can show you the different elements. So first, there are 2 different patterns. The one that I mentioned here, you could see on the bottom, this one has a straight edge, and then there's also one with a scalloped edge. So you can drag these different heat transfer vinyl layers onto the shape that you would prefer. So if you wanted this one to be on the scalloped edge, you can just drag this right up here and put it up here, and that makes it really easy for you to swap these designs out. Now, if you wanted to cut this one, for example, this one cuts from 2 different types of heat transfer vinyl. So one, you would choose one color for the word Fall Vibes, and you would choose another color for the leaves. And I've made this easy for you by connecting all the leaves together. So when you cut this out, you won't have to place each little leaf individually. You'll place and press them all together at once. Same thing, anywhere you have two words, I've connected those for you, as long as they're cutting from the same material. Down here you've got two different colors of heat transfer vinyl also. So again, you would cut the word coffee or tea from one color, and then you would cut the additional words from another color. Okay, so I'm going to cut this one that says sweater weather. So I'm going to drag this back over here. Just delete all of these shapes that I'm not going to use. Now I did want to show you, since the little snap holes are already made for these, if you did not want to put snaps and instead you wanted to just use hot glue or something like Velcro to attach these, let me just show you how to hide those snap holes so they won't cut. If you click on your shape here, that's the coffee cup sleeve itself, then click down here on contour, and that's going to show you all of the little shapes that are going to cut. So here you see you've got the large shape that's going to cut and then the 4 holes. All you need to do is click on the holes. You can either click on them here on the side panel and see how they go from that dark gray to a light gray, or you can click on them here in the preview. Either way, they're going to go light, and that means they are not going to cut. So once you've hidden all of the holes, you can just X that out again, and there you have your basic shape without the snap holes, and then you can use, as I said, hot glue on the end or something like Velcro. Let me go ahead and undo that though, because I do want to cut the snap holes. So I'll click the Make It button. We're cutting our material on a mat. And the first thing I want to do is mirror both of my mats, because heat transfer vinyl and faux leather cut in reverse. And I want to just drag this away from the edges of my mat just a little bit. And this one here, I'm going to drag this into the middle of my mat. And here you can see we do need to cut a very large piece of this. It's about 11 inches wide and 4 inches tall. This will fit a regular piece of faux leather that you buy that is 9 by 12 or 8.5 by 11, something like that. So click continue. For the faux leather shape, I'll be using the faux leather paper thin setting. If you don't have this setting bookmarked as a favorite like I do, you can click on Browse All Materials and search for it. Keep in mind, if you're using the Explore Air 2, you'll need to turn your dial to custom before you can find this setting and search. For the vinyl layer, you'll use whatever cut setting corresponds to the material that you are using. So I'll be using glitter vinyl, so when I go to cut this mat, that's the setting that I'll use. You may use iron-on or some other setting. Now for the faux leather paper thin setting, I always like to use more pressure. That's just going to help us get a better cut. Okay, so let's hop back over to my overhead camera and we will get our mats cut out, and I'll show you how to put together these really cute coffee cup sleeves. So I'm using a piece of scrap faux leather that's just slightly bigger than that shape that is going to cut that I saw in the mat preview screen. I'm just going to put this pretty side down on my purple strong grit mat. Press it down really well with your fingers, and then just use some blue painter's tape to tape it down on all sides. This is going to help keep our material from moving while it's cutting, which is really important. Now these pieces of blue painter's tape can be lifted up after the cut and reused. We have our faux leather paper thin setting with more pressure all set, ready to go. So we'll just load this into the Cricut and begin the cut. So the cut has run one time, but before I unload the mat, I want to lift up the edge with my sharp weeding tool just to see if it looks like it went all the way through. And it did, but if yours didn't, don't worry. You can press that cut button again over and over as many times as you need to, as long as you haven't unloaded your mat. And your cut will continue to repeat until it cuts all the way through. I'm going to go ahead and unload the mat, remove my shape here. And on the back, you could see those little holes that are going to cut out. You could use a sharp weeding tool and just poke those through, or you could use some little curved scissors if necessary and trim those little holes away. I'm just going to set this to the side and go ahead and cut my vinyl mat for this project as well. I'm using Caesar glitter vinyl, which is a little on the thick side, so I'm going to actually cut this twice. You'll need to experiment with your machine to see what cut you need to use based on your material. I'm going to put this shiny side down on my green standard grip cutting mat, and then just go ahead and run this through the Cricut 2 times. Now that my heat transfer vinyl has cut, I'm just going to take a moment and weed away the excess vinyl. So we're just left with the words. I have my Easy Press Mini all warmed up on that low setting. So we're ready to press as soon as I finish weeding out this vinyl piece here. There we go. So our little front design is all weeded out. So I'm just going to move my little heat pressing pad over here. Move it off to the side. I have my little cover sheet. This is a Teflon sheet, like a t-shirt Teflon sheet that I've trimmed down to size, but you could use butcher paper or parchment paper. Just going to place this here on my heat pressing pad, and you want to get this pretty much in the center. That looks pretty good. Then we're just going to cover and press. You want about 10 to 15 seconds of good pressure all over. Remove your carrier sheet and then just slowly try and peel away that clear cover sheet on your heat transfer vinyl. If when you're peeling the vinyl lifts up, just put your clear carrier sheet right back down and press some more. But that looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to set this aside, get our snaps ready to go, and then I'll show you how to finish off this project. So before I show you how to attach the little snaps on your coffee cup sleeve, I wanted to mention if you're not using the snaps, then you're all ready to go. You can just take whatever cup you're going to be using and sort of wrap this around and get it to where you need it to be. You could use a little bit of blue painter's tape if you needed to tape it down. You know, cups come in different sizes, so it could be that it needs to be a little wider or it needs to be at a different angle, but then you can just apply some Velcro tape here or some glue and then you're all set. We're going to be using the cam snaps, however, and as I mentioned, there is a little installation guide here, and I will give you a copy of that in your download folder with this SVG. There are 4 parts. There's a cap at the top, a cap at the bottom, a stud, and a socket. And you need all 4 of these pieces to create a snap. And when you buy the cam snaps on Amazon or from their website, they have all 4 of the pieces mixed into each of these colored boxes. So I just went into the white and I pulled out the 4 different elements and I lined them up on my desk here exactly the way they have them here. So a cap, a stud, a socket, and another cap. And I have 2 sets because we need 2 snaps. So let me show you here on this one how this works. Here on the right hand side, I have 2 caps facing up. And then on the underside, I have 2 sockets. The socket is the part that is sort of the cup, and then the little part goes into it to snap these together. So on one side we have the caps facing out with the sockets underneath, and on the other side we have the caps on the inside with the stud facing out. Okay, it's because when this wraps around, these are going to snap into here, and then you see that pretty cap on the outside. Okay, so we're just going to repeat this process here using our piece that we cut and our little pieces that we already have lined up. So let's do this side first. So all we're going to do is take a cap on the outside, and again we'll look and see what's on the back. That is a socket. So we'll find our socket. So flip this over and then put your little socket on. There we go. So cap on one side, socket on the other side. And then all we need to do is use our pliers. So the pliers have a black piece here and has a sort of cup on the inside. That large black piece is always for the cap. And then the white part is going to be whatever is on the other side of the cap. So just take that black piece, sort of line up the cap so it fits inside. You want the cap all the way inside of that black piece. The white part here is just pressing on whatever is on the other side of the cap, and then we're just going to squeeze. Now you do have to squeeze kind of hard on these. So cap, and there's your socket. Let's repeat for this side. There we go. Now we're going to go to this side. So this is where we have the cap on the inside coming up, and then we have our little stud. So let's do that side. So the cap comes up. And now on these studs, it's important that one side has little tiny raised bumps and the other side has the part that comes out. That's going to go into the snap on the other side. So you're looking for the part that has the little bumps. The part with the little bumps is going to go down. So cap on one side, part with the little bumps, the stud, the bumps are going down. And again, we'll just repeat and press. Make sure that black part is always going on top of the cap. Get everything lined up there. Squeeze. And we'll repeat with the other side. And that's it. So we'll just fold this over, snap it closed, slide our cup in, and you're all set. So here's a look at all of the different designs that you'll be getting for this project, and I can't wait to see your coffee cup sleeves. Remember, to get this and all of the SVG files for the Faux Falloween Crafting Event, visit amyromeo.com/Falloween24. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.